Hi, my name is Clara. I'm an artist from a small rural town in Southern California. With the little savings I had, I signed a lease to a commercial space earlier this year in the hopes to use as an art studio. And with no money and no experience, I jumped at the opportunity and told myself that I would just figure it out along the way, because it really doesn't take much to make an artist happy as long as they have a space. Everything can be figured out later. So first, let's talk about the floor. I naively presumed that I would be able to mop away all of the gunk and black stains, but after days of experimenting with cleaning products, I came to a conclusion that it was just going to be impossible, and I would either need to paint the floor or remove the tile and do something with the concrete. But because I had a tiny budget, I decided to go with the paint route. And to my surprise, from doing research, I found that the paint was going to be more expensive than I thought. Turns out you need a specific type of paint that goes over vinyl. So that was annoying. I spent a full day mopping and trying to get the floor as clean as I could to have the best space for the paint. I was kind of mad that I couldn't just use regular floor paint, but it wasn't concrete and it wasn't wood, and so I didn't want to risk having it be scratched up by foot traffic or when we were moving in. I wanted the space to look as presentable as possible because I had the idea that I also want to host events and maybe turn the front portion into a gallery space. If it was just going to be a personal studio, I think I wouldn't have cared about the floors because they were going to get messy anyways. But that's why I went with this paint, because I wanted it to be worth it, since having a space already is so special, and I want to make it look as presentable as possible. So, do you see that? I have to clean that right now. Basically, it's set, suit, whatever the fuck. I'm gonna get up there and try to wipe that shit. Turns out whoever was renting here before was lighting a bunch of candles, not just in the restroom, but in the whole space. And so under the lights, it was full of this black residue from the candles that I had to clean out. And then as a result, I looked inside the vents and it was the same. I hadn't had to turn on the AC because it was still winter time. And when I did turn on the AC, I noticed that there was little specks of like some type of charcoal dust coming from the vent. And so it was staining the floor all over again. And it was starting to feel very disappointing, to say the least. So tomorrow the landlord is gonna come and inspect the under these ceiling tiles, and hopefully they see how bad it is and want to replace it. That's how it goes. See y'all in the next video. At this point, I'm kind of bummed out. I feel like my body's tired. I spent so many days putting in so much work. I thought that after the floor was done, I wouldn't have any more problems, and then this just set me back so much. And I was still trying to stay positive, but definitely getting in my head and trying to convince myself that I didn't make the wrong decision. After a couple weeks and a little bit of back and forth with my landlord, she did end up deciding to help us switch out some of the tubing in the AC unit, just so that we would have cleaner air and a better peace of mind about being in the studio. And although that was a small victory, I still was really upset about the floor being stained again because I had worked so hard. I think that's all I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna figure out if I can clean the floors If not, do another paint coat. But honestly, I don't really like this light color because it does stain a lot. So, but thank you for watching. It's been a little journey. It's looking up now, so hopefully in the next video it'll be more moving in and decorating, which is exciting. So thank you for watching.